Good morning. It's Operation Unplug a Downspout first thing here this morning, so I get to go climbing again. Alright, we made it up here. If you missed yesterday's video, we've got a plugged downspout K-valve here that feeds our dryer. And so I had to climb up here. We got to climb inside the distributor and poke it. We climbed up to the top of the leg here. We got this little platform around our distributor. Got to open up these latches. And then this comes off. And we can get in there. Put that little nut back on there so I don't lose it. I should have brought my flashlight. Oh well. Now we gotta climb in here. Okay, which one is it? Come on, turn the light on. There. Not that one. It's that one. Right there. So, I brought this scraper up with me. And we're gonna poke this. Don't drop it. There it goes. Alright, it's gonna go. I think we got it all. She's open. Alright. That's all we needed. Close it back up and get out of here. It's a little windy up here today. Only took 3 trips up here and down to figure out what the problem was and clear it. So, alright, let's go down and start running it. Alright, we are worried about chunks down in there. And so we're opening all these handles, which drops all that stuff out. Closing them back up. Alright, let's crawl out of here. These are the big fans that blow air up. Burner is right above me. Yeah. Well, we got that all cleaned out. We should be good to start filling. So I think Phil's turning the generator on. And we'll start transferring out of there, and hopefully it makes loud plinko sounds as it comes down through the dryer rather than just overflowing back into the wet bin like what we had yesterday. Corn coming out of the wet bin. Give it a second, you'll hear it. I hope. It's got to go all the way up to the top, and there it comes down the pipe. And now we can hear it. And see it. Two kernels popping out. Oh yeah, now she's loud. Alright, let me climb up here. So if you look at these triangles, you'll see the corn falling. It's going to start filling up from the bottom. You can see it in there, and it just keeps filling. We need to get halfway up or more. And you'll start seeing dust come out of the holes once it's above that level. We do get a few kernels that are going to bounce out. That's just the way it is. Once it's full, that doesn't happen. That's also why we have this mat across our burner there to catch any kernels so they don't fall into the burner. See, the bottom ones are getting full now. Cool. Now the dust is moving up. We're about to the point where I'm going to shut it down from filling the dryer, and we'll finish sucking the wet bin out, putting it into the overhead or something so we can haul it out as dry corn. And then once we get that wet bin where it's empty or just a funnel left in there, we can start unloading the truck. Finish filling the dryer with wet corn. And by wet, I mean like 17%. It really doesn't even need to be dried, but we're going to dry it anyway kind of corn. Okay, we have the dryer bin empty or sucked all the way out. So I went back to the dryer wet bin with our distributor, and now we're unloading the truck. We'll finish filling the rest of the dryer up, and then it will overflow into the wet bin, and we'll go get the other the grain cart unloaded, and then we can start shelling and maybe get the dryer fired up here shortly. 17.26 out of the field. Look at that number right there, though, boys. 59.57 test weight coming out of the field wet, which it's not going to pick up much from 17, but yeah, that's good. Unfortunately, good test weight doesn't mean good yield. I want good test weight. I don't care if it's good test weight. I care if it yields good. That's how I get paid. I get paid on how much weight we produce, not how heavy the corn is, how dense the corn is. Phil's gonna finish unloading that truck for me. I'm gonna take one of the other ones and go get the grain cart empty. It was a good thing I came down here and rolled the tarp yesterday. We did get a little rain overnight. Come on. What is going on? Wasn't a lot of rain, but enough it would have been not good in the grain cart full of corn. All right, I brought that truck back. Phil got it unloaded. I think we're ready to go shell corn. Let's do this. All right, we're going to shell for a little while here this morning, get a bunch of wet corn around, and then after lunch we'll start up the dryer. So it is 10:30. She'll be able to do 3 or 4 truckloads here, and then we'll break for lunch. So yesterday I got the short rows in front of the woods over here done. Now we've got to go a full pass through and open up a bunch more end rows and kill our average yield, all those good things. This is what I mean by killing our yield. Zeros. Oh, 18. Climb a little bit and then drop off again. Trees are the worst, man. It's not really the trees, it's the animals that live in the trees. Well, the trees don't help. They're not helping. But it's all right. You gotta have them. Gonna have end rows. We'll get them opened up and the yield will keep climbing again. Ugh. On another note, yesterday we were having all kinds of issues with our work groups, and like the GPS stuff was working okay, but some of the internet connectivity things that we needed from John Deere was not working. I couldn't hardly send work plans, and anyway, that seems to be working today. Brock is in the work group. I can see that, and if we go over a page, look at this. We can see how much weight is in the cart now. That's that cable that we installed yesterday on the grain cart tractor. It allows us to see the weight from the combine here, and from my phone and from everywhere else, and that's cool. So this corn is that 103 day 03U08, and it is generally a shorter corn, but the tops have broken sideways on a bunch of this now. The wind is starting to get to it. We've had some wind the last few days, and I'm glad we're out here getting it. I mean, it's good corn right here. It's not all like that, but I don't know, we're doing okay. There's a buck walking down the road right in front of us. Didn't look like a real big one, but he's there. Kind of watch. Where'd he go? See if he runs out the end here, or if he went sideways. I didn't see it run out either side of the block that we're in, but doesn't appear to have made it all the way down here either. We'll chase him out at some point. Well, this is going to fill up our third truck, and it is 12:30, so we're going to stop and grab some lunch and get that dryer fired up. We'll have enough wet corn around now to keep the dryer going. So it's 17 to 18% corn, which is borderline of whether it needs dried or not. We are going to dry it, but it's going to flow through that dryer quite quickly, and so we wanted to make sure we had a few truckloads in the dryer, because you don't want it starting and stopping all the time. Once you start it up, you want to kind of let it run, and I don't know if we'll be able to shell faster than the dryer will be able to dry it. So anyway, it's a good start for the day. I chased out a few rabbits, but I never did see that deer run out. I don't know where he went. Oh well. Anyway, we're going to take the truck back to the farm here. Time to fire up the dryer here. So we got our hot fans running. There's 6 fans that sit underneath there, and they blow air up through that center chamber underneath the burner, and then it kind of works its way through the grain and out here. So we just hit the fuel control button and we're waiting for that to fire. It might take a couple of go-arounds just because that's how it works when we're purging the lines and everything. So this will get to 30 seconds. I don't know if you guys can read that with the cameras. Now it's going to ignition, and when we see 5 volts, that means we've got fire. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Nope, it failed. Alright, so we're going to reset and let it go again. Usually it takes 2 attempts the first time. Okay, so after we get flame, which we do have now, and we see the 5 volts, we hit our unload button and it starts running. We're putting out about 800 bushel an hour right now. Waiting for our temp to come up. We're up to 159, 161. We're gonna dry this at a low temp because we're not trying to drive a lot of moisture out, and it'll go way too fast if we push it way too, or up to 200. So we're gonna leave it down at 180, I think, or maybe even less than that. You have to remember which one do we? This one. Let's go 170. So according to our chart here, we only need to take out like 3 points of moisture, and even at 170 degrees, that's almost 1446 bushels an hour. So that's fast enough for what we're trying to do right now. Now we have this Dryer Master DM510 controller that runs everything in here, so it's taking an inlet moisture and outlet moisture, and it's going to learn how that dryer works and dries stuff. And eventually this auto light will come on, and that automatically controls the speed of our dryer. Works really good. Takes a little while to get it going though. I hold you in just the right spot. You can kind of see the flame in there. There's a bunch of controls out here. This automatically controls the propane flow to regulate the temperature, but it's consistent. Seems to be working. Yeah, it kicked on our wet bin, unload auger, so it's filling. There's a sensor up there, and when this light comes on, the sensor is open and the light comes on and it kicks on that auger, and it runs until it fills up and then shuts it off. Automated, works good. We've just been taking a few minutes to make sure everything's working like it's supposed to. It seems to be. Temperature control is good. It's gonna take a little while to get corn, wet corn down through it. So we'll have to dial in the moistures and stuff, but so far so good.
Don't want you to work too hard.
Gosh dang, I go to throw my pop can away in the shop and Brock just climbs right in the driver's seat.
Hey, production, man, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Well, after an hour and a half break to get something to eat and get that dryer started, everything seems to be running okay. For the most part there, we should be good to go. However, looks like we might get a little rain here in a little bit. We're going to try and get this field done before that happens. I don't know if we'll make it or not. But we're going to work our way across here. There's another little 9 acres across the road by that house that I was hoping to get done today. I mean, if it doesn't rain, we'll be able to easily get these two done today. But we can only do what we can do, right? So I forgot to film it, but it started raining. We were shelling corn there, and yeah, those clouds came in and it started raining. Rained pretty hard for just a little bit. So we quit. Sorry, I didn't do a very good job filming today. My bad. 600. We got 600. Not much, but it is what it is. It's over for now. I got some errands I'm going to run while we're not shelling. We'll finish drying the corn that we've got in the wet bin there, and we'll see if we get any more rain. It's possible we could go back to the field later this evening, but I sort of doubt it. So, yeah, we'll check in with you guys here later. Well, 45 minutes later, and it's sunny and nice, and the rain is gone. So, well, maybe we will go back to the field. I don't know. Okay, well, there is more rain to the west. I don't know if it's going to get here or not. We're still running the dryer. We've got this really fancy light system on the side of our wet bin here to tell me how much corn is in there, or at least levels. The bottom one is on, the second one is not, so there's not a ton of corn in there, but there is some. Phil is hauling a load of dry corn out of the overhead bin, and got another truckload loaded up with dry corn. So we're kind of just sitting here watching and waiting and making sure everything is working like it's supposed to. I'm going to do a little dryer calibration here in just a second, but Says we got 20% corn going in, which I don't know if that's accurate or not. Doesn't really matter. But the outlet moisture at 14.7, Phil's got it set for 14.5. Don't ask me why. That's just what it is. Putting out right at 1,000 bushels an hour at 170 degree drying temp. Now, if we had wet corn going in, stuff that was actually 20 to 22%, we would turn our drying temp up to 200 degrees and do a little bit faster. But no need to do that with this drier corn. So we are going to do a dryer moisture tester calibration. And we do that by coming over here to our moisture tester. And there's a little trap door under there. We're going to hold this bucket, push the button, and it's going to start flashing. And I'm going to hold this door open and catch the corn that comes out of there until that light stops flashing. I think it's for 30 seconds. Oh, okay, once that stops, we let go. And now we take this in and we test it. We're going to run that through and let it test. We'll probably run the same sample through 3 times. See what it is, and then we're going to come over here and you can see the little calibrate icon, meaning that there's a sample waiting for us. I'll show you that when we get a result. What do we got? Ooh, 13.5. Okay, way too dry. Well, we had a 13.56, 13.58, and a 13.57. We're going to call it 13.6. So we come over here to the calibrate, and we're going to calibrate the outlet sensor. So it thinks it was 14.7. It was actually 13.6. And now it will correct from that. I figured that was kind of the case. This is running a little slower than what I feel like it should be according to our charts. So you can see it jumped up a little bit there. It'll keep jumping as we try and bring that moisture up a little bit. Well, it's going to rain again on us here. The wind's going to pick up. It's not going to be a nice couple of days, it doesn't look like. I got the mobile working on the dryer master controller, so that is good. We got that figured out. I had to call Canada a couple of times, but we got it. So that might be it for today. Okay, like a half an hour ago I walked out and it was starting to rain again, I thought. And I thought, we're going to get rain. Now we're done. And then it didn't rain and it's windy and I'm going back to the field. I don't know. I don't really need a grain cart there. Like there is, I can make a full round. So there's not very much left in this field. We're going to try and see if we can't finish it up here and just have Phil bring a truck and unload the grain cart. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Probably do another 2 rounds and then have to quit again, but we're going to try it. Good news. All the leaves that were built up on our feeder house blew away. So that's good. I'll try and remember to film for you this time. So corn is very different than beans in that we can combine it when the corn is wet. The plants themselves are wet. Sometimes it doesn't feed in the best, but for the most part, it still flows through the combine, and as long as it doesn't build up on our sieves and our chaffer and plug stuff up and we start throwing all the grain through the back, we can keep combining. We've combined in wet conditions quite frequently. It happens a lot the later we get into the season, even to the point where sometimes it starts snowing. Now, the snow is going to stick to stuff inside the combine a lot more than just damp stuff will, so we got to watch that. But if this was beans, there is no way we would be out here combining today. It would have been done we would have never even started today. It would have never dried out enough to do that. So the grain in corn does not soak up the moisture from the atmosphere, from the rain, like soybeans will. And so the corn, still 15% says it's drier now than it did when, before it rained. I don't know if I believe that, but either way, we're going to run it through a dryer, and it doesn't matter how wet it is. So we're going to try and finish this field. We don't have a lot to do. There's another 16 rows here, and then we've got this block over here to do. Maybe 12, 13 acres is what I'm guessing we've got left. All right, we got those long passes done. It's entirely possible we're going to get rained out again here. I don't know. There's a little cloud cell here that looks like it's going to come right for us. That's par for the course. We got a few windrows to finish up here. We'll see if we'll just go until we can't anymore, I guess. I think we dodged that cloud. Phil's here, he's unloading the cart. Got a truck full down there. So that's a good thing. We should be able to finish this. 6 or 7 acres here left. Some of this, you go down in this draw down here, it's really good corn. Some of the rest of it is not such good corn, but a few spots that it's starting to go down. That wind is going to be a problem here over the next couple of days. It's supposed to be 35-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow. I'm afraid we're going to see a lot of corn breaking off, but there's not a whole lot that we're going to be able to do about that. Just get it as fast as we can. So definitely a little slower when you got to stop and unload on the ends, but that's okay. There's relatively short rows here. We can make these rounds, and with just Phil and I, it works out just fine. We got about 3 rounds left here to finish this field, so glad we came back and decided to do this. We're gonna be able to get it done, which is helpful. Well, we made it here. We got this last pass, and then I think there's 2 rows over there yet that I got to get from the end of a planter path. So we'll finish this up. It kept coming up. The yield kept creeping up. Ended up to 196 for the field average. We'll take that. I don't know how accurate our combine is, but if that's... This is, like I said earlier, not a great farm. This one and the next one might be some of our worst corn. I don't know. We got a couple other fields that aren't going to be great, but we have a lot of other ones that will be much better. So we'll see how they end up, but 200 average is not off of the table yet. There's those last 2. Cool. Glad to have this one done. So there's going to be some corn on the cart, not a ton. I don't know if he's going to come back or not. I'll call him on the radio, find out what's going on here. But we're moving just across the road tomorrow, assuming it's not raining overnight or in the morning.